So let's get out of this into what's happening now. Live in East London, we can see there EFF leader Julius Malema has arrived at the East London court, and this is, of course, the Magistrates Court where he's there. We did get a visual of him. He's got loads of supporters that are there, a sea of red marching in the streets of East London. Now, you do know, just a backstory on this, he's appearing for the pre-sentencing proceedings following his conviction of discharging a firearm during the party's 5th anniversary celebrations that were held in Mdantsane back in 2018. You can see all of the supporters out there, and many questions being asked now, why showing such support for a pre-sentencing hearing? And the response from the leadership is that this is not normal, what their leader is going through, and they're calling this more political than legal, that this has all got to do with politics and it's got nothing to do with legalities. So this should be an interesting day as we watch this. I know that Sakina is there, and we're just trying to re-establish connection with her as she sort of is there covering it for us. And let me just try and see if I can chat to her. Sakina, can you hear us? What's going on there? Obviously, we've heard that Malema has arrived. We can see all the supporters there. Talk to us.
Well, welcome back to the East London Magistrates Court. And as you can see, the EFF supporters who've come out in their numbers are now here in front of the door leading into the Magistrates Court, which is, of course, where the regional court is sitting. And I can tell you that the legal representatives have already arrived. Advocate Ngungai Toby, Advocate Hodes, as well as Advocate Levitt, who's been the instructing attorney. And, of course, here still to come, Julius Malema, but all of his supporters, his family, the top 6 of the EFF, they are all here, and we are now just awaiting the arrival of Julius Malema as he awaits the sentencing here in the court behind us, and Magistrate Toinette Olivier will be tasked with dealing with that sentencing proceeding. Well, we've heard from the legal experts, we are listening to the people around here, and it's a veritable scrum, a scrum also between the journalists who are here. As you can see, Leanne Matthys, she of course excused herself from the ad hoc committee proceedings yesterday in order to be here, and of course just awaiting the arrival now of Julius Malema. And these are some of the leadership of the EFF indicating once more that the arrival of the CIC is imminent. And of course, Ms. Matthys, I'm going to see if I can sneak in here just to see in terms of the anticipation of what is to come. And we've been watching you this week at the ad hoc committee, and of course excusing yourself from proceedings. I see the ad hoc committee not sitting today. So talk to us about your expectations here.
Well, today, obviously, you know, with the pre-sentencing hearing, we don't know what this magistrate is going to do. She's been unpredictable throughout this hearing. So we don't even, if she's even going to actually do the sentencing today, or she's just going to hear the mitigation of sentencing. So we'll wait and see, but we're ready for anything, obviously, as we always are. I mean, it's unfortunate that we must waste so much time, and more importantly, taxpayers' money. And what we've learned from the ad hoc committee and all the testimonies that we've seen is that our entire criminal justice system is in such disarray. It is so weaponized, and the people that are suffering most are those that are on the ground. This is a waste of time. There are much more important cases, maintenance, rape cases that should be dealt with, yet we weaponizing something as frivolous as this.
How do you respond, Ms. Matthys, to those who say that for people to congregate outside a court of law like this would have a chilling effect on how the law and the legal eagles deal with cases involving high-profile and especially high-profile political figures? How do you respond to that?
Well, it shouldn't necessarily have a chilling effect. I mean, it's something that has been part of our South African history for a very, very long time. I mean, we've seen it through the Rivonia trialists and stuff. It's something that is part of us, and it gives an opportunity for the people on the ground to be able to do and say what they want. I think our Commander-in-Chief has arrived. We'll talk again, Sakina.
Thanks so much, Ms. Leanne Matthys. And this, of course, as we continue to wait the arrival of Julius Malema for the pre-sentencing hearing to take place in the court here behind us. And we just hope that we will be able to see him, because it's pandemonium as far as possible here, as I think Mr. Malema also will try to fight and scrum his way through his scores of supporters who have actually gathered here outside the East London Magistrates Court. And you can see the Deputy President, this is Godrich Gadi, also just trying to align the forces. Sinawo Tambo trying to position us as we await the arrival of Julius Malema for the pre-sentencing hearings. And these, of course, are the scenes live from the East London Magistrates Court. This is the sitting of the regional court, and the pre-sentencing hearing is supposed to kick off in a few minutes. We're literally counting down. Julius Malema was said to be expected at 8:30, so running slightly behind, but I can tell you he is in the precinct, he's in the vicinity, and we're just waiting to see how we can find our way through to where he is. At this point, it seems like a bit of a cat and mouse game, because we moved from one side, the door that all the other people went through, and we're now right in front of the entrance to the East London Magistrates Court. And I'm not too sure whether this might be a decoy, and then maybe he still might go through the other entrance. But of course, we are here along with everybody else, just waiting as everybody tries to get a glimpse of the Commander-in-Chief of the Economic Freedom Fighters. All right, and we are also just trying to position ourselves, trying to follow the proceedings and people as they move. And again, it's proving to be quite a tough expedition here this morning. It's difficult for people to be controlled because there are so many, and I can hear people behind me saying they want to see Julius Malema. Everybody wants a vantage point so that they can actually catch a glimpse of the man of the moment in person. So it is a bit chaotic at the moment, but I can tell you Julius Malema hasn't yet arrived. He is expected to arrive here imminently, but as we say, we wait as we show you the pictures of the EFF leadership trying to control the multitudes of who have gathered here to show their support to the leader of the EFF. These are live visuals from East London, the East London Magistrates Court, where Julius Malema is awaiting pre-sentencing after his conviction in October. And take a look at the scenes here, and many more, of course, that we can't even see at this moment because we saw all the buses. Even late last night, there were more buses coming through, but we heard from emergency personnel, no incidents have been reported. They have not recorded any injuries or anything of the kind. So it seems for the time being, all is well, all is peaceful. But we are awaiting, trying to find a vantage point from which we can see where Julius Malema will be coming through. And we're just keeping an eye on what's happening here with everybody else. The family members are out here as well to receive Mr. Malema. And we don't know at this point exactly where he will emerge from. We are trying our best just to find a position such that we can see him irrespective of where he will emerge from. And these are, of course, very interesting scenes, and what is also seemingly becoming a sort of culture whereby people come out to support those appearing in court. And it poses its own very interesting dynamics to the court orderlies who have to take care of proceedings here. And here you can see the EFF leadership. So I would imagine, following the leadership, that this is where the CIC will be coming through. That's the Commander-in-Chief of the Economic Freedom Fighters. So do bear with us. It's noisy, and we will try to just keep our camera trained on whatever is happening around us. I see the family members behind me, so they are obviously here to welcome Mr. Malema. Just watch your camera there, sir. The tripod, apologies, because it is a tight space in which we're operating and just trying to give everybody some space to move. So here are the family members coming through, and of course, Wiani Pambo apologizing, but it's all right, Mr. Pambo, we understand. The family members lining up to receive Mr. Malema. And as you can see, these are the family members, the elders, and they're here to support their son, Mr. Julius Malema, this morning here in the East London Regional Court. And with that, I think that's a good indication of what is to come. So it is just about time. I know Mr. Malema is in the precinct, so just waiting for him to come into view. It seems a lot more orderly now. A clear path has been established, but of course, we wait and we try to move back to give the family a little bit more space as the crowds also try to fight for prime position to welcome Mr. Julius Malema. For the time being, I think I'm going to let you have a look at these visuals just to see what's happening outside the East London Magistrates Court, where the regional court is sitting. But I think it's now been clearly established this is where Mr. Julius Malema will be coming through.
All right, Sakina, we'll keep you there. Keep those visuals going. And the moment, I know obviously it's a jostle for position at the moment. Quite difficult to capture this for you. But as soon as he arrives, we'll go back to you. We're going to stay on these visuals though, so that we'll be able to kind of hear. But one thing I think, let's just perhaps maybe give you a little bit of detail behind the scenes on all of this, because at the end of the day, we can see Sakina walking there, and she's just trying to get into a new position and perhaps closer, get a better view. But I mean, when we look about this case, it's remember this all goes back to AfriForum lodging their case against Malimba under the Fire Control Act. So this is the Firearms Control Act that is all about right now. And this case, remember, one of the longest running cases, it went from 2018 all the way up to 2026. So that's where we are now finding this, that the state led evidence from 18 witnesses. This is where we're at right now, and we are seeing now the pre-sentencing hearing that's about to happen. And remember that, you know, pre-sentencing can take a while, and this isn't the sentencing. So this is now a case to hear what the sentence should be, and both sides actually argue in favor of, you know, whatever that they're hoping to achieve from this. So this could go on for some time, but of course this is the first hearing. So obviously there's a lot of excitement, a lot of anticipation ahead of this. Perhaps I can talk you through some of the charges. A little bit more of just information about this because it's been going on for so long. So the charges were unlawful possession of a firearm against Malema, unlawful possession of ammunition against Malema, discharging a firearm in a built-up area or a public space, that was it as well, reckless endangerment of people or property, and failure to take reasonable precautions to avoid danger to a person or property as well. So those are just to remind you of what the charges are, and also providing a firearm or ammunition to a person not allowed to possess it. That was against Snyman, and that's, you know, what is at the heart of all of this. What can we expect? What are we likely to see? Well, the sentence could be up to 15 years. You know, that's what people are saying. But if Malema can show exceptional circumstances, or his legal team, the judge can issue a lighter sentence. So that's just giving you some background as we wait here to see the arrival of Julius Malema. As we heard from Sakina a bit earlier, the family are there. They've now formed a tunnel that he will possibly walk through as he enters into the court. You can see the helicopters above there that are also obviously trying to keep making sure that this is peaceful and that nothing happens. And Sakina has been reporting, and the reporters on the ground saying this has been incredibly peaceful. There have been no signs of any kind of violence right now. The supporters are merely there to offer support for their EFF leaders. So, yeah, that's what we are seeing. Visuals inside the court. I think Sakina's now moved to a different spot. Let's try and check in with her again. Sakina, perhaps you can talk to us again.
Morning. And it's going to be interesting to hear how these proceedings go. We spoke to legal experts earlier about all of the possibilities. And of course, what is certain is that the EFF will be appealing all the way to the Constitutional Court for these proceedings going forward. And yeah, it's getting noisier and noisier. Can barely hear yourself think above all of the sounds. The Casper engines are running. The helicopter rotors are also making their own noise. The people are singing, and it is just a cacophony of sounds here at the East London Magistrates Court. So take it all in, South Africa, and we await the outcome here later today, whether the matter will be postponed or whatever other action will be outlined by the magistrate Toinette Viljoen. But this is, of course, what she has also come into this morning. And you heard the EFF's perspective on scenes like these potentially having a chilling effect on legal representatives and also on magistrates and judges. But the EFF saying they don't subscribe to that particular view. All right, I see more people coming through. And of course, we know that Mr. Julius Malema is on his way. His family have already taken position, and they are waiting to receive him at the entrance, at the doors of the Magistrates Court. I would imagine these reinforcements mean that the arrival is even more imminent than it has been all morning. So just making sure that they are able to hold back the crowds. We are all, of course, here to get a glimpse of Julius Malema in person and try and get as close as possible to him. So these are the scenes. Yes, it's not a political rally, it's a court case. And of course, Julius Malema convicted on 4 firearms-related charges in October last year in this very court. And today, he's back for pre-sentencing hearing. So we'll wait and see what happens, because court is meant to get underway shortly.
Yeah, thanks very much, Sakina. I mean, still just talking through some of the issues and repercussions of all of this, and it's quite a lot. We've spoken you through the timeline, we've spoken you through the charges. Sakina reiterating what it is and where this is all stemming from. But I think one of the big things that is going to be looked at as this goes on is the question: will he lose his parliamentary seat? That's a big risk here as well, because what the law states and what the rules in Parliament say is, if Malema is sentenced to more than 12 months imprisonment without an option of a fine, he stands to lose his parliamentary seat. And according to Section 47 of the country's constitution, bars an individual sentenced to prison for longer than 12 months without the option of a fine from being an MP. So that's another big repercussion. All right, so we're seeing a lot happening there again, a chain of hands by some of the security personnel. Sakina, are you getting a visual there? Are we seeing anything more coming through from the EFF leader? Has he made his way to there? Is he arriving?
President Godrich Gadi, that they will be appealing this matter all the way to the apex court of the land. So today, by no means the end, but it is an interesting show of force here from the EFF, coming out in support of their leader and coming from far and wide, not just all over South Africa, but also from some of the neighboring countries, as you saw and heard earlier. Clock is ticking, and I suppose with his legal team already in place, with his family waiting to receive him, it's only a matter of time before Julius Malema finally makes an appearance here at the East London Magistrates Court. So we've just been told that they have called the legal teams into chambers. There's a discussion going on between the legal teams in chambers, and which is probably also part of the reason why we are seeing this hold-up. So we wait, anticipating that it may not take too long, but as we understand, the legal teams have been called into chambers by Magistrate Juanette Willefeer. So that's what's currently taking place inside the court. And outside the court, of course, we still await the arrival of Julius Malema, but I would imagine that he would wait for a signal from his legal team inside as to when he can make his way in. And I must say, I see a vehicle coming into view now, and this, without a doubt, is Julius Malema. So here we go. This is certainly the vehicle carrying Julius Malema. So as we come in, just wait and just trying to make our way as safely as we can to where we are. Here we go. Mr. Julius Malema should be alighting from one of these vehicles, and we're trying to get a view. Can't exactly tell you which one of the vehicles. I'm hoping there's Adrian Snyman, former co-accused, just passing us here. He, of course, was acquitted. And here goes. This is what the people who have gathered here have been waiting for, just to see Mr. Julius Malema. And Mr. Malema, Mr. Malema, Mr. Malema. Got it. Got it. And they, again, Mr. Malema has entered the court building. That is what people were waiting for, as you can see. And he has entered, and I guess the court proceedings will get underway shortly. We have our reporter, Abongile Yankees, who's in the courtroom, so he'll be able to keep us abreast of developments as we take it from the outside to the inside of the East London Magistrates Court. Abongile Yankees will take over, showing you what's happening inside. And as soon as the legal representatives come out of chambers, these proceedings will get underway. But do stay tuned to SABC News. We've got you covered. It is, of course, now time just about for the agenda, but we will continue here from the East London Magistrates Court. From Morning Live, Leanne Manis to Ayanda Nyati on the agenda. We move, and we will have no break in these proceedings. And don't forget, you can go on to SABC Plus, where we can beam all these visuals to you uninterrupted as well. Download, and of course, you're good to go. So these are the scenes outside the East London Magistrates Court. And of course, the action now moves from the outside to the inside of the court.